Good morning. Welcome, our Remax First family of companies. Welcome to another think tank. For those of you who haven't met me, I am Olivier Lewis, broker owner of the Cranford office. And every Tuesday, we do these think tanks where we cover a specific topic. So if you have any questions, comments, feedback, please chime in. If you like the content, please smash that like button. If you're following this on YouTube, please subscribe. So, with my disclaimers out of the way, let's jump into today's topic. So, again, guys, do not hesitate to comment or chime in. But today we are talking about your business as an agent. You are a marketing company that happens to transact in real estate. I'm going to repeat that again. You're a marketing company that happens to transact in real estate. And what I mean by that is, we are all in the lead generation business. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
If you have no leads and clients, what do you not have? A business, transactions, bingo. You guys can speak up so everyone else could hear, but thank you. That way it doesn't look like I'm responding to myself. But yes, correct. Without leads, we do not have clients and transactions. So we are all in the lead generation business, right? So let's agree on that. So with that said, let's jump into some of the things that you should focus on, keep top of mind in regards to your marketing and what your messaging is out to the clients. One, you're always marketing yourself. Even when you don't think you are, you are. So whether you have a rental listing or a luxury listing, you're not just marketing that listing, you're marketing yourself, your services, and that's someone's first impression of you. So if there's a neighbor or another seller or a buyer in the area, and they're looking for an agent, how you present yourself, what your descriptions are, the types of photos you use, everything you're doing, you are marketing yourself. So you have to keep that in mind. I always say signs are inexpensive billboards versus the big expensive billboards, and it gives you, signs give you a hyper local presence. So whether you get that rental listing, whether it's a sale, and guess what? I already have a buyer for it, or someone in house has a buyer for it. You still need to put the sign up. I know many agents say, hey, I already have a buyer, there's no need, or the seller doesn't really want one. You need to push to put a sign up because that is your billboard. That's a way to market yourself. But going back to some of the other messaging is the quality of photos you take. That's a sign of how professional you run your business and what type of marketing you're practicing and you're offering your clients. So everything you do, whether it's intentional to sell one listing, it is also going to be unintentionally the marketing that you put out to everyone else. So Carl has the 3 C's. No one? You look like you have it.
I can't remember.
All right. Well, today I'm going to give you guys Olivier's 3 B's instead of the 3 C's. So my 3 B's are going to be, let's start with 1B, intentional. Instead of unintentionally and doing things and not realizing that it's affecting everything, be very intentional with your messaging and your marketing. So let's start with the basics with being intentional. Who's your audience? Who are you marketing to? When you're putting out messages, you have to realize who you're trying to reach and what's the message supposed to be. I've talked to some agents and I've said, hey, the memes and the funny things, and I won't take a buyer out unless they're approved. Just think about the message that's putting out to other buyers, right? You always have to look at your audience. Look at the seller who may want an open house. Maybe they bought it from an open house. So if your message is, hey, I won't take anyone out until they speak to my lender, and that's the message you're putting out or implying, the seller that bought an open house said, wait, I walked in and I bought the house. Do you think they're going to want to work with that agent? So you always have to remember, there's some funny things and there's things we want to share amongst our community, amongst our peers that are jokes or some pain points, but you don't want to put that out publicly because it's out there for everyone to see. And those are potential clients that may have wanted to interview you or maybe wanting to interview you in the future. So always think of the who your messaging is for. And there's maybe some different forums and avenues where we can make the jokes as peers and colleagues and industry jokes. We can make them in the right form, but that may not be what goes out publicly on your social media. That's there forevermore. and you could delete it. Someone else may have screenshotted it, and it can come back to bite you. So always remember the who's. What you want them to know. And the what, and Carl always says this, I got it from him, I got to give him credit. The what's aren't, hey, I'm Circle of Excellence magenta, or whatever level, or whatever color, or whatever award. It's your experience and that you've provided results for your clients, whether it be buyers, sellers, etc. Right? So that's the what you want them to know, instead of, hey, I'm great, look at me. Or in the DJ Khaled voice, another one, and you sold another home. Right? That's not the messaging. No one wants to add fuel for your jet, right? Pay for the fuel for your jet. Or no one wants to help someone that's way up here. Well, I wouldn't say no one, but most people don't enjoy, hey, the guy that's at the top, let me just give them more and more and more. And if your messaging is like, I'm great, look at me, I sold another home, look at me, here's another big paycheck, without physically showing the paycheck, that's not necessarily the right messaging. What you want to do is, I've helped this family. Here's my experience. I troubleshot this amazing or ridiculously challenging scenario and overcame it. So your what is just as important as your who. And you have to be careful of what your messaging is. Your experience, your results, that's what you should focus on. Where, right? Who, what, where, why, when, etc. But where do you focus? If you have a niche, double down. That's your messaging. If you want to be more of a listing agent, your messaging shouldn't be short sale specialist, relocation specialist, investor specialist, and just buyer representative specialist, consultant. It should just be listing agent, right? Because that's your that's your messaging of where you're focused on. Sorry about that, but where you're focused. If you have a niche, if you do REOs, if you work with investors, if you work with sellers, if you're amazing, one of the best buyer agents out there, that's your what? I help buyers overcome the challenges to get into homes. I have full gamut of resources, lenders and programs, etc. That's where you focus, because that's what is going to attract people to you. If you solve their problems and they understand that, they're going to go to you to solve their problems. So why? And the why can't be because you like luxury handbags, cars, or jewelry. The why needs to be you enjoy helping people. You're in a service industry and you're here to service the public, right? So who, what, where, why. The only one I didn't have something for is when. And when is obviously now. We want clients now, but it's consistency, right? The when is consistency, not when it's the holidays only, or not when you came out of a training, but it's the consistency of it. So that's be number one, be intentional. Number two, actually, I skipped to it, is be consistent. This is the time of year where we're going to talk to more people typically than not. Is that fair to say? Between the holidays, Thanksgiving, et cetera, and the other holidays coming, we are going to see family members, friends, people are going to reach out. There's certain, I think my old high school tries to get together the Wednesday night before. I could be wrong on that. My old high school. There's a group of people that try to get together, and you see these people that you only see once a year and speak to. So we're going to speak to more people. But is it good to just speak to them on Thanksgiving or around the holidays? No, you got to be more consistent, especially with your social media marketing. A lot of agents, you rarely see them post, but on the holidays, they pop up, right? And that gets drowned in the thousands of pop-up. Like, the person that doesn't post, but they post Happy Thanksgiving or it's daylight savings, that gets drowned out and no one's paying attention to that. But if you're consistently posting, you are top of mind. And it's simple, guys. Just plan it out. There is tons of content out there. So you can plan it out. You can see a good article and pull it up or save it and bank it and repurpose it. But you guys can plan it out. And if anyone has issues with content, besides the stuff that we put out and we share, Keeping Current Matters is great. Inman News is great. I know when we just shared that it's on sale, $99 for the year. It's usually $250. So if you want good content, Keeping Current Matters, Inman News, Risk Media, the boards have a lot of content. So there's plenty of content out there if you need. And sometimes it's basic. There's Remax Hustle. We have tons of resources, as well as our marketing center. In the center our marketing team has about 400 or 500 graphics under social media graphics. So there's tons of resources. There's no reason not to plan it out. There's programs like Hootsuite or later.com, which allow you to schedule out 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, all your posts. So you guys have the resources to be consistent. You just have to do it. And last but not least of the B's, B1 is be intentional, B2 is be consistent, B3 is build a magnet. And that's a saying that I've always come up with. I built a magnet. I attracted clients to me so I didn't have to solicit and cold call. And it's a combination of doing a lot of things right, where you're consistent, your messaging is direct, you're positive, even in this market that is shifting, where the rates are going up, prices may or may not decline depending on your market, and there's a lot of negative chatter. Don't buy now, prices are too high still, rates are too high, rates doubled, interest is too high, which is not true. Average for 30 years is 7.78, and we're still, last week we're down in the sixes. So the rates are not too high, but that's the messages. Don't commiserate with that message. Be positive. There's always opportunity, right? It's always a bull market. You just have to find where that bull market is. You just have to pivot and adjust and adapt and take action, right? You may have to learn new skills. You may have to work harder. You may have to become a salesperson, that key sales word, right? Which is in our title. But there is opportunity. So stay positive. Solve problems. Demonstrate that. One of the biggest marketing tools you can do is solve problems for people and show them. Because everyone in a transaction, typically problems come up in almost every transaction, rather. There's typically a deal issue, whether it's a financing, inspection, and even sometimes attorney review, right? Attorneys don't communicate and you have to chime in and say, guys, let's get this wrapped up. Show that you solve problems. Demonstrate. Everyone's telling people what they want to hear. You know, I'm a great agent. Look at how big my award is. You know, there's an award out there where you actually pay to be on the award, which is a little funny, but you know, hey, look at me, I'm this, or I have this award or plaque, or you know, whatever it is. That doesn't matter as much as I solved my client's problem today, and it's so fulfilling to help move the needle in their transaction or help get them to the goal line or the finish line. That's a different message. A seller that has a challenging home, that their home didn't sell, that expired, right? They want someone that can solve that problem, not someone that says they're great. So your messaging and solving problems is key. Another way to do that is with testimonials. Not only can you guys do that, but having proof of concept. Yelp is a pretty busy website because everyone checks. When you guys buy stuff on Amazon, do you not look at the ratings?
Yeah.
Every
time.
Yeah. I used to buy stuff on eBay pre-Amazon, and I'm aging myself. There's a website out there called eBay Guys that was pre-Amazon, but I used to look at the sellers' ratings and how many items they sold before I committed to buying from them, right? So testimonials absolutely work. Google reviews work well now. Look at your reviews on Zillow, how important that was. I'm sure everyone in here has gotten someone mention or comment on their reviews on Zillow. I saw you and I read your reviews, right? So you want the testimonials besides you guys showing that you solve problems. And if you do all of that, as well as educate the public, if you're getting the data and the information from Keeping Current Matters or Risk Media or Inman News or the board or us, whatever you're putting out there, if you're helping people, it will come back to you in the form of business. You know, the biggest thing we do is we help agents build their business, right? And it's helped us grow our business. And that's the same thing you guys have to do. Yes, we do open door trainings. Yes, we probably coach, you know, a lot of outside agents and help them. Yes, if someone calls us with a challenge, we'll help them whether they're here or not. And eventually what happens is they keep coming to us and they realize we're helping more than others. And that's what you guys can do, right? There's a sea of agents. How do you separate yourself? Help people. Help people, right? Educate people. Give people options. Show that you solve problems. And that's how you become a magnet. So I'm going to give you guys a quick quiz. What are the 3 B's?
Be
Consistent.
One. Be intentional.
Intentional is 2.
Let's be positive. The last one.
Build a magnet.
Build a magnet.
Build a magnet. Build a magnet. That's like a 95 score. So A. But that's it, guys. Any questions, feedback? Just be intentional with your messaging. Always who, what, where, why, right? Always think about that. Who's my audience? What message am I trying to get across? Why will this be important to them? And where am I focused? Right? If you approach it that way and you're intentional and you're consistent and you're helping people and you're building a magnet, your marketing will turn into transactions. It will turn into leads. And those leads will be easy to convert into clients. But you have to be consistent and you have to be intentional, not just spreading out what else everyone else is or daylight savings. You know, my timeline was full of daylight savings things. And I think we all get the message, right? and listen, there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's your only message for the month or for the last quarter, that's not going to move the needle in your business. So that's my point. Nothing's wrong with that if that's part of your marketing, but that can't be it, right? Happy Thanksgiving is the next one. And then, you know, Happy New Year. If that's all your messaging, it's not attracting people to it. You're not building a magnet. And I don't think that marketing is going to lead to your phone being on fire. All right. That's all I got for today. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I will see you on the next Think Tank. Take care.